Before we start this video, I want to ask you guys for your advice on the content that we should be producing for the new season. We know what we want to do. We think we're producing bangers, but we need you guys, the Five community, to work with us. I also want to give a massive shout out to you watching. We all know that, it's been a season where people are on holidays. There's loads of things going on, but you're still staying with us and you're still on the journey. So please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe and support the new guys coming on the channel. Peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Joel Beya, and we are back here on Five. I have a special guest today, the one, the only Mr. Charles Watts, who is a correspondent for goal.com. How you doing, Charles? You okay?
I'm good, Joel, mate. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Now, you guys watching, please make sure you check out Charles. The links are in the description. He produces amazing stuff, writes amazing articles, and yes, he will be with us today, giving us some scoop. I want to start off on the Arsenal subject. Now, it's a weird one, but Raphinha, it looked like he wasn't going Arsenal. Well, he was going Arsenal, then he wasn't going to Arsenal anymore because Chelsea were in for him and all the Chelsea fans are happy and excited, etc. But it looks like he's got his heart set on Barcelona because I haven't heard anything officially confirmed from Chelsea yet. Can you let me know what's going on within that situation?
Yeah, I mean, he's very much had his heart set on Barca from day one. It's something that's been agreed sort of behind the scenes of Barca for quite a while now. Other clubs are aware of that as well and have been aware of that. It's been a bit of an open secret, but because of the financial issues that Barca have, the sort of long-standing financial issues that Barca have had, as it rumbled on and got towards the summer, the other clubs thought, they're not going to be able to complete this deal. They're not going to have the money because Leeds, understandably, after not getting relegated, were in quite a strong position when it came to Raphinha, and they could basically say, all right, you want him, you're going to have to pay us £60 million, which is what they're doing.
£5 million.
And for Barca, that's very, very tough to complete right now. And so Chelsea have obviously, Arsenal came in, they submitted a bid, wasn't enough. Then Chelsea just came in out of nowhere and blew everyone out of the water with a bid that Chelsea did accept. And at that point, it looked like, he was going to end up at Stamford Bridge, but the lure of Barca is still there. And he's just it's a bit of a waiting game at the moment with him and his agent Deco now, who obviously has such strong links with Barca, to see if they can somehow rustle up the money, find a way of putting something on the table that Leeds will accept. And I think it's also kind of clouded by the Ousmane Dembele situation at Barca as well. Will he, won't he sign a new contract? And so it's a bit of a waiting game for Chelsea. They went strong to get it done very, very quickly. And the longer it drags out, the more you think, is he going to end up at the new camp? So, not quite panning out, I think, the way that Chelsea were hoping to, but it's still very much a transfer that is ongoing. It's tough right now to sit here and say exactly where he's going to end up playing, but it won't be Ellen Road.
Does the De Jong transfer have anything to do with it as well? Because if Man United, buy him, if they get him, then obviously that means that there's some funds there available for him, right?
Yeah, you would say that, but they're also pushing really hard to try and get a deal done for Lewandowski as well. And it's just a kind of balancing act that Barca are trying to fund at the moment. And it's not just about transfer fees; it's about the wage bill there as well and how it all works. And that's what they're having to really juggle and have been for the last 1 or 2 years at Barcelona. So it's not. I don't think it's quite as simple as if De Jong happens, then they will have the money to push through Raphinha. It will certainly help, but I don't think it's quite as sort of clear cut as that. There's a few other things they're going to have to juggle with, and that's why I think it's going to rumble on a little bit as the window progresses.
So obviously we don't know what's going on, but if you were a betting man, what would you say will happen?
I'd say Barca, just because of how determined he is, that's where he's going to end up, and when a player's kind of set on it, that they will try and push away through. And you kind of, with Barca as well, it always ends up them finding some way to get a deal over the line.
A new Spotify deal.
Exactly. They'll find some money down the back of the sofa somewhere to get it done. The only issue is the Leeds are in such a strong position now, and Chelsea are offering so much money up front rather than, I'm sure Barca will be trying to stagger it over 3, 4, 5 years, the length of his contract. And Leeds are well within their rights at some point just to say, no, we're not talking to you now. There's bids on the table. You either take it or you stay here. You're not going to Barcelona. So as a better man, I'd say probably Barca, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Leeds are in a very strong position.
I want to focus on Martinez now. It looks like there's a tussle between Manchester United and Arsenal. What is the difference? Why is this not being done? Is he closer to going to Man United? Is he closer to Arsenal? Can you please give us an update? Because I know you've got especially when it comes to Arsenal, you've got really strong Arsenal links. So I know you'll be the man to talk about with this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not done yet because no one has bid the sort of money that Ajax want them to bid for Martinez. My
Which is
understanding is about sort of £45 million. You're up to around, so far that's sort of up front. At the moment, both clubs are around the £40 million mark. Arsenal bid last week. Man United, my understanding, tabled their first formal bid for him on Friday. It was in the similar region of Arsenal, which was, I think, around sort of 35 with add-ons to get it up to around 40. Not quite what Ajax are wanting. Now, Lisandro Martinez has his heart set on the Premier League, I'm told by people very close to him. He wants that to happen. He's told Ajax that now twice. He's been on holiday, but he came back, and yesterday he had a meeting in Amsterdam with Ajax where he reiterated that desire that he wants to move to the Premier League this summer. I would say if both sides do manage to table a bid that Ajax find acceptable, then again, what I'm told is that United might just have the advantage because of the whole Ten Hag connection with Martinez. But having said that, I've also been told that, you know, he has not closed the door on Arsenal at all. He's very kind of excited by the ideas that Arsenal have relayed, and he's excited by the prospect of potentially working with Mikel Arteta. But you can kind of understand, if you've already got a relationship with a manager, you know how he plays, you know how he wants you to play, that connection is pretty strong. So I think United do have the slight advantage over Arsenal in that race, but you know, I wouldn't rule Arsenal out the running for him at all, and they are very much, you know, pushing. It's a player that Mikel Arteta really likes. I think he sees him as he can play in multiple positions. He can play centre back, obviously the left side of centre back, so he can cover for Gabriel where Arsenal don't really have too much cover. He can play left back, which has been a problematic position for Arsenal for the last couple of seasons because of Kieran Tierney's injury record. They've had to shuffle things around, play Xhaka there at times. Tavares didn't quite kind of live up to the start he had at Arsenal last season. And he can also play in midfield as well. So I think that's a really appealing option for Mikel Arteta. He's very good on the ball. His passing ability is spot on. And he's that kind of quarterback style player who just fits into exactly what Mikel Arteta wants. So they want him and they will push for him. But, you know, both clubs have to put up money on the table that I deem acceptable. And then Arsenal have to try and find a way of getting past the whole Ten Hag connection and getting their noses in front in that one.
Keeping it on Arsenal really quickly, Marquinhos. Now, I want to know, is he going to be integrated into the first team, or was that a buy just for relationships? Because I was doing my research as well, and it looks like even in the Brazilian league, they classify him as a good player, but that's about it. He wasn't like the pick that people would thought would go to, you know, the Premier League. Can you explain what we should expect from him this season?
Well, it's up to him, really. He's in a similar situation to what Matteo Guendouzi was when he arrived under Unai Emery, and what Gabriel Martinelli was when he arrived from Brazil as well. And that was a case of, look, we're going to give you the summer, and it's up to you. If you impress in pre-season, then you are going to stick around in around the first team squad. Both Guendouzi and Martinelli seized their opportunity in pre-season. I remember I was in Singapore for the pre-season tour of 2018, I think it was, and Arsenal played Atletico Madrid, and it was Guendouzi's debut. It was 19, I think he was at the time, and he just blew everyone away with his performance. And from that point on, there was no looking back. He wasn't going to be part of the under-23 squad. He wasn't going to be sent out on loan. He was going to stay with the first team. And Gabriel Martinelli did exactly the same thing with his performances. He just basically made it impossible for Arsenal not to use him because he was so good in those early stages. And that's the opportunity they're going to give Marquinhos this summer. He's in Germany right now with the squad. He'll probably play on Friday, I imagine, make his first appearance in the game against Nuremberg. He'll go over to the States and he'll get those games. And if he impresses, if he makes his mark, then he will be used this season. He won't be sent out on loan. And you think with Arsenal this season, obviously European football's back in the Europa League. They're going to have plenty of games up until December in that competition, in the League Cup as well. And the whole 5-sub rule in the Premier League means the squads are even more important because you're not just bringing on 3 players, you're bringing on 5. So it's down to him. If he plays well, he'll get the opportunity. If he kind of looks too raw, then I think they might well send him out on loan.
I want to focus on Tielemans. Now, there's every single chance that this move could still be happening. What's going on? You know, because I speak to some people and they go, no, you know what? Arsenal know that he's keen on a move. So they're not really pushing it. They're waiting a little bit. But I don't know, man. I think when a player like that is available, we need to be moving faster. Do you have any update on that, please?
I'd agree with you. First of all, I'd be bringing in Tielemans straight away. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's a really good fit, and he would just absolutely improve Arsenal's squad. So if he's there and he's willing, which I believe he is, then I would absolutely get that deal done. As far as I'm aware, that situation, it has not been ruled out at all, and these talks have been going on. I reported back in January that Arsenal were looking at Tielemans as a summer addition, and I believe that is still the case. But they're just focusing their kind of attention on other deals right now, and that one's just been put on the back burner a little bit. The interest has cooled a little bit. I absolutely wouldn't rule out happening later on in the window, but I think they're just looking at, trying to get Martinez done, seeing what happens with Raphinha, and then potentially moving back to Tielemans. But yeah, I'm like you, Joel. I think if he's there and he's available, which he is, only a year left in his contract, and only around sort of £25 million as well, which is not a lot of money for a player of Tielemans' quality, I'd absolutely be snapping him up right now.
Last club I want to focus on at the moment is Chelsea. Now, I'm really interested in the whole Raheem Sterling movement. Again, another player, if he comes available, that's a signing for them. Are they focusing on him? Are they focusing on Cristiano Ronaldo? What's actually going on? Why is it not being wrapped up quicker?
Well, they're just throwing a lot of darts at the moment, Chelsea, aren't they? And almost seeing where they land. It's a really interesting approach. It's a new approach by the new owners, the new chairman, the new sporting director. He's basically the same guy in all those different positions at the moment at Chelsea. And it's really interesting to see how their summer's going to pan out, because they've targeted an awful lot of players, big name players as well, statement players. But
they need centre backs.
No, absolutely. And they haven't got any of them over the line at the moment. And, they were pushing for De Ligt. It looked like he might well be going to Bayern Munich now. I mean, the Ronaldo thing would absolutely be a statement signing. There's no doubt about it. Personally, I don't think it would be a good signing. I'm not quite sure that's what Chelsea need. They need a bit of a rebuild, some younger, fresh blood coming in. I mean, it's hard to turn down Ronaldo. Of course, he's that good, and he scored 18 goals in a terrible United side last season. But still, I'm not sure it's really the way to go. It feels a bit too much like a Hollywood signing at this stage of his career. And Chelsea need a big rebuild. Like you said, they need centre-backs. Christensen's gone. Azpilicueta's not getting any younger. We're still not sure exactly what he's going to do in terms of his future. Alonso as well. There's a lot of work that Chelsea need to do at the moment. And although I wouldn't be surprised out of all of them, I think Sterling, they'll probably get that over the line. It seems like, Manchester City, as they always do with players, they're not really going to stand in his way if that deal can be done. And it feels like it's one that might well happen. But they need more. They really need more, Chelsea. And it's going to be really intriguing how the last kind of 6-7 weeks of the window plays out for them.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Charles, thank you very much for giving us your time. You know what, I know that you are the man when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to Arsenal. And then, you do some great stuff over at goal.com. So massive shout out to them as well. Guys, please make sure you follow Charles on socials. Amazing stuff, amazing news that he delivers. And he will be back soon with us on 5. So please, guys, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will be back soon. Charles, speak to you soon, bro.
Cheers, Joel. See you soon.
Peace.